ever since I was in the 6th grade, there's this one place I've always wanted to go. A place that has fascinated me endlessly. That place is Japan. Now, if you see my channel, you may think that's because I watch a lot of anime. Now, that is not entirely wrong, but it's not my main reason. I want to see the massive cities, the speedy Shinkansens, beautiful mountains and countrysides, the massive old castles and temples. I want to experience a place so different from my own, yet so similar in so many odd, specific ways. I've wanted to visit this place for almost as long as I can remember, and finally got the chance to go. I'm going on this trip with my beautiful new wife, Caitlin. We filmed the entire trip here with my iPhone XR, sometimes I used a moment wide-angle lens, and also with her iPhone 11 Plus, which had a beautiful, amazing wide-angle lens that, sometimes it was just easier to use her phone. This is not an advertisement for iPhones, but we did use iPhones a lot in the filming of this video, and they worked out pretty goddamn well. So come along with me on my 2-week adventure of Japan. So we flew out of the Seattle-Tacoma airport at 1 a.m. on a flight all the way to Taipei, Taiwan for a brief layover. Outside was dark almost the entire time we were in the air, so there wasn't a whole bunch to look at, but it was a nice, quiet, easy flight. Then we took a flight over to Narita Airport, which is a little outside of Tokyo, finally putting us in Japan. Once here, we took a train to Tokyo, and specifically the neighborhood of Ikebukuro, where our Airbnb was. Our trip was split into 2 weeks. Week 1 spent exploring the many boroughs of Tokyo, then the second week would be split between Osaka, Kyoto, and Nagano to give us a wider range of experiences throughout the land of the rising sun. This first day though, we decided to visit Sunshine City, a shopping center 2 bus stops away that was the home of the Pokemon store, which was stuffed full of so much Pokemon merchandise. After a little shopping, we actually picked up some good dinner at a 7-Eleven, they are all over the place in Japan, and headed home to rest up for our first full day of adventure. Harajuku, known as the trending shopping district of Tokyo, was our first spot to see. It was lined with shops, like one themed entirely after Alice in Wonderland called Alice on Wednesday, which had such a cute theme and design to it. Then when we got done shopping, we went to see the Meiji Jingu Shrine, which is in this big park in the middle of the city. Being surrounded by all these trees, you can almost forget you're in the middle of one of the biggest cities on the planet. This was so peaceful, or it would have been if this day hadn't been so goddamn humid. As people from a temperate and cool area like Seattle, dealing with the Japanese heat and humidity felt like Texas or Florida. It felt horrible. So after a busy first day, we returned home to prepare for our adventure to Tokyo Tower. This massive red tower is a major landmark for Tokyo, but the reason we were here was very specific. It was for One Piece. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of anime stuff, don't act too surprised here. This place is amazing if you're a fan of the show. It's got tons of exhibits celebrating the most memorable moments of the show, things to do that reflect each crew member, like a haunted house for Brook, a betting game for Nami, and a sharpshooting game for Usopp. Plus there was a live show that was all in Japanese and I couldn't take a video of it, but trust me when I say you don't need to understand Japanese to get the story of this. The show was incredibly impressive with amazing choreography, sets, props. It was a fantastic experience, and if you're a fan of the show and you happen to be in Tokyo, check out Tokyo Tower One Piece. It is amazing. After the tower, we walked a bit to travel to another station to head to Odaiba. Now Odaiba is a little out of the way, but for me it was a must visit. This is the home of the iconic Fuji TV building, as well as this amazing light show experience that just had incredible art pieces made out of light all over the place. It's hard to describe how many hours you could just spend traveling around all these beautiful rooms and designs and sets. It's really amazing. There was also a giant life-size Gundam that was unreal, and the Statue of Liberty for some reason. The highlight though was obviously the Toys R Us we found that was still operational. There's amazingly a few Toys R Us just in Tokyo all around. You just find them, they're open, they're working, just like they didn't massively close down in America. This actually was awesome for me because of some amazing Legend of Zelda amiibo that you can't find a good price in America for. Also, look at these Zoids. This is just so cool to see these all over the place. I actually picked 2 Zoids up the day before in Harajuku, which I didn't really get video of, but you see these Zoids at every real toy store. And as someone who really loved the anime back when I was a kid, you know, it's really great just to see these Zoids figures all over the place. At this point, we're just exhausted from the heat and walking, so we take the next day to chill a little bit and hit up 2 major shopping areas, Shibuya and Shinjuku. Now, Shibuya is a huge shopping area that you've probably seen a lot of. Well, specifically, you've seen this crossing because it's one of the busiest crosswalks in the world, and everyone uses B footage from it. It was pretty cool though. Lots of big stores, saw some Digimon figures, like this one of the villain from the Digimon movie that was directed by Mamoru Hosoda. Don't know why that's there, but it's cool to see. We then traveled to the Tokyo Metropolitan Building, which was supposed to have this great free observation deck. The problem with free though is that the line was hella long and I didn't have time for that. I just did not want to stand that long just to go up. You know, it was too much, so we popped over to Shinjuku to see the great and powerful Godzilla. Well, at least his head and a little bit of his hand at the top of Toho Theater. We got there just in time to see the last show of the night where the King of Monsters comes alive. This is pretty fucking awesome. Not something to plan a day around, but definitely a cool thing to swing by if you're in the area. Across the street was a Taito game station where inside we made the weirdest discovery. We ran into our friends Keenan and Jordan, both members of the Seattle band Sea Cats, one of the best and funniest bands around. Keenan also plays in the band Item Finder, which I think is really great. They're both on Spotify, check them out. Now, we knew they would be in Japan around the same time as us, but we hadn't planned to see them until the next day. But because life is weird, here they were. So as a group, we then got together and visited a Sanrio store and a cool bar area called Golden Guy. This is a cool little bar hopping district filled with weird bars like, oh no.
They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me! Oh my god!
Anyway, none of us were really drinkers, but this is a really fun area just to walk around and absorb the atmosphere. We parted ways a little after that, planning to meet tomorrow at a place where all anime fans one day dream to visit, Akihabara. This is anime mecca, and one of the best places to find anything video game or anime related in all of Japan. There's figure shops, there's gachapon, there's arcades, it's got everything. Akihabara is also the place where I lost 1,000 yen to a pachinko machine because I started playing and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. This place is loud as all hell too, so it was a disorienting experience to say the least. This area is just a bunch of fun to walk around with friends, so we all got some ramen and shopped our hearts out. Afterwards, we bid our friends farewell and headed home. Now this leads to our last full day in Tokyo. So we go back through Ikebukuro some more, finding a few more amiibo at another Toys R Us that just happens to be around, and some more video game stores, just checking out all the weird, old, exclusive games that are here. Then we hop on the train and head on down to Mori Tower. Now, since we missed out on the Metro building, which was free, we decided to spend a little more and see one of the best observation decks in all of Tokyo. Now, while you do have to pay to get in, this is an amazing view of the entire massive city. It's got great views of Tokyo Tower, Shibuya, Shinjuku, the Imperial Palace, and you can even see the Metro towers off in the distance. But if this wasn't enough for you, then you can go all the way to the top. Now, this view is unlike any I've seen before, and it really puts into perspective how massive Tokyo is. For as much exploring as we did, we barely scratched the surface of this metropolis, but our time here has come to an end, sadly. It was wild and unforgettable, but from here we would leave Tokyo behind to explore some more of this incredible country. Waking up early, we head to the station to catch a Shinkansen, otherwise known as a bullet train, and we would be taking this to our next leg of the trip, 3 days in the beautiful Osaka. The second biggest city in Japan, Osaka was a must visit for us. The ride was absolutely beautiful, and really didn't take much time at all riding a bullet train. After a few hours, we're here, and in our new Airbnb. This time we got a more traditional looking place to get a more full experience. But we don't rest long as we head to the Akihabara of Osaka, known as Denden Town. We buy some more anime merch, I finish off my amiibo collecting, and we head off to bed. Now, on our first full day of Osaka, we wake up and make a bold decision to not do anything in Osaka. We actually jump on the Shinkansen and head down to Hajime, where we went to see the beautiful Hajime Castle. This structure is truly unbelievable. Its grounds are massive and filled with history. Now, as an American who's never really got to travel much of anywhere outside of the States, seeing structures as old and as massive and beautiful as Hajime Castle is a brand new experience for me. I love visiting old, massive structures like this, and it's humbling to see something so beautiful and old and well taken care of. They really do a great job of restoring and maintaining these areas. And valuing history like that, that's going to be a recurring theme in this back half of the trip. After touring the castle and seeing this super realistic ghost, we head to the garden besides the main gates. Again, we're smack dab in the middle of a pretty big and busy city, but inside this garden, all of that just kind of floats away, and you get this tranquil experience. For our last full day in Osaka, we decided to finally explore Osaka, starting with a trip to Dotonbori, a street lined with a hell of a lot of food stalls, and next to a lovely river where we found this Don Quixote. The Don Quixote is a store where you can get a lot of stuff on the cheap, but this one has a Ferris wheel attached to it. It's just so extra yet so perfect. There were also some boat rides going up and down the river, so we hopped on one and enjoyed the ride. We ate a hell of a lot of food. Then we headed over to Sutenkaku Tower, which is a beautiful tower that gave us an incredible view of all of Osaka. Also, it's sponsored by Hatsune Miku, and that's a thing that exists. Then we ended off the night with a food tour around Tenjin Bazusuji. Osaka is well known as the kitchen of Japan, and one of the signature dishes is takoyaki, or balls of octopus. We also tried a really wide range of sushi. We have different cuts of some amazing beef and topped it all off with some ramen. After the tour finished, we hit up at McDonald's for an ice cream cone to cap off a long, hot day and all the amazing food. Packing up, we take the Shinkansen one stop to Kyoto, a town that contrasts the hustle and bustle of Tokyo by being a much quieter, more relaxed town. But we made it to our place and we headed out to see some shrines. It's what the city is known for, and you can see them all over the place. First stop was Toji Shrine with its iconic 5-story pagoda, and with these amazing Buddhist statues that I can't show you because we're not allowed to take pictures of them. This happened a lot in Kyoto, which does not make for great vlog content, but here we go. Now, while I couldn't take videos of these statues, being in the room with them, being in this old room with all these amazing, beautiful statues it was unlike anything I've ever felt. Now, after that, it was getting a bit late. We got to Toji Shrine around when it was closing, so we didn't spend that much time there. But after that, we headed out, grabbed a bus, and went up to Fushimi Inari Shrine, which is a Shinto shrine lined with all these amazing gates. Unfortunately though, I didn't get a lot of usable footage of it, mainly because it was very dark out, which did lead to some great pictures on the iPhone 11 we had, showing off its ability to take pictures at night, but most of my videos just didn't translate for some reason, though I did get a stick of crab meat, and that was pretty exciting. It was really great though visiting this shrine at night specifically though, because this is a very, very packed shrine most of the time, and walking through the gates, we spend a lot of time, with not a lot of people around us, if no one around us at all. So if you're looking for a more peaceful experience, then I have found that going really late in the day is a lot more peaceful and calming. Next day though, we had to see something truly special and beautiful. This pigeon. Look at him go. He's just walking around like he owns the place. He's beautiful. It's amazing. You can't understand the beauty of this pigeon. Oh, also this incredible Buddhist temple called Kinkakuji, or the Golden Pavilion. It's a Zen Buddhist temple that is covered in gold and really just photogenic as hell. After enjoying this area, we traveled to Himeji Castle, which is a massive and beautiful castle that, for the most part, we're not allowed to take video of. But we did feed the fish, and really that's what matters. Our stay in Kyoto was very brief, but unforgettable. And while the city wasn't really as easy to traverse as Tokyo, it provided some much needed toning down of our rapid pace that we'd gone through with all of Tokyo and most of Osaka. We were spending hours appreciating a temple instead of rushing around a massive shopping district. It was still hot and humid, but at least it was a slight improvement. Nagano, our last stop on the long trip, would take this chilling effect up a notch. It took most of our day just to travel here, riding the Shinkansen all the way back to Tokyo Station, and then up to Nagano, and then taking a train from there to our specific destination of Udanaka. We catch a shuttle and we make it up to our ryokan, which is a traditional Japanese inn, and end this day of travel with a relaxing trip to a private onsen, or a hot spring. This area is in stark contrast to everything else we've experienced before. It's rural, there's no major shopping districts, there's no special stores or tall buildings anywhere in sight. So why did we come out here? Well, outside of my personal love of rural mountainous areas and this beautiful greenness, it's just so pretty. God, look at this area. We're here to visit Snow Monkey Park. Now, Japan is covered in natural hot springs, and in the winter, monkeys in the mountains are known to use them to chill out, much like we had the night prior. Now, it was much cooler in Udanaka, but it's not really hot spring weather for these guys. But irregardless, the park is still open. So we head to the entrance and hike 1.8 kilometers in. Though we did get some troubling signs as we went. See, these monkeys don't belong to the park. They don't belong to anybody, they're wild monkeys. And sometimes, like the day before we arrived, they just don't visit if they don't want to. So when we hiked all this way to see this, we were understandably crestfallen. So we waited 35 minutes hoping for good news, but there wasn't any change. The monkeys just weren't there. So we trudged back, disappointed, but understanding that not everything can go just the way you want it. And hey, we still did get a great hike through a beautiful Japanese mountainside. You take what you can get. So we would just head back to Tokyo and prepare for our journey home. Well, that wasn't until we got back to the beginning of the trail and checked the live stream online to see that in fact these damn monkeys had a flair for the dramatic. And they arrived just a little bit after we were about to leave. So we hike back in and finally get to see these tricky bastards.
Well, if anything, this will at least make a compelling story. So, there's that.
They were all over the place. There's baby monkeys playing and jumping around, hugging together on the stairs, while adults climb around and act like they own the place. We're right up close to these wild animals because honestly, they just don't seem to care at all that we're here. It was well worth hiking the trail twice just to see them all. This is about as perfect of an end to a trip as we could ask for. In Udanaka, we found a peaceful, beautiful town that reminded me so much of home. The hustle and bustle had chilled, as had our energy, and we were just ready to go home at this point. And it was great to see something that reminded us so much of where we were going to return to. And I really don't have much more to say. Japan was an unforgettable experience. We saw so much, we did nearly everything we wanted to, but we both can't wait for our next opportunity to visit. So thank you so much for following our adventure here. This is nothing like my normal content. I generally talk about anime, movies, or video games. But this video, much like our trip, was an adventure outside of my comfort zone, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. You have a great time. See ya.